Inside a small 24-hour diner on Lexington Avenue, warmth pushed back against the cold night outside. The place wasn't fancy, just red leather booths, chrome edges on the counters, and a coffee machine that seemed to work harder than anyone else in the room. Emma Carter stood behind the counter, tying her brown hair into a loose ponytail. She had been on her feet for 8 hours already, but there were still 4 hours left in her shift. Emma didn't complain. She had learned long ago that life rarely asked if you were tired before giving you another challenge. At 23, Emma balanced 2 lives. During the day, she attended nursing classes at a community college. At night, she worked at this diner to pay for tuition, rent, and groceries for herself and her younger brother, Noah. Their mother had passed away 3 years earlier after a long illness. Before she died, she told Emma something that had stayed in her heart like a quiet rule for living. Make kindness a habit, her mother had whispered. People forget many things in life, but they never forget the moment someone helped them. Emma tried to live by those words. Even on nights when she was exhausted. Even on nights when the tips were small and the customers impatient. She wiped the counter carefully, lined up the sugar jars, and poured herself a small cup of coffee. Outside, the city breathed slowly. Then the bell above the diner door rang. Emma looked up. 8 tall men stepped inside, bringing a swirl of cold night air with him. He wore a dark overcoat that clearly cost more than Emma's monthly rent. His shoes were polished, his posture confident, but his face looked tense. Like someone carrying a heavy secret. Behind him came a little girl holding his hand. She looked about 7 years old, wearing a pink jacket and a small backpack decorated with cartoon stars. Her eyes were sleepy, but curious as she looked around the diner. Emma's tired expression softened instantly. She had always had a soft spot for kids. Good evening, Emma said warmly. Sit anywhere you like. The man nodded politely and guided the girl to a booth by the window. Emma grabbed 2 menus and a pitcher of water before walking over. The girl climbed into the booth and pressed her face against the glass, watching the empty street outside. Emma set the water down. What can I get you tonight? The girl turned immediately. Pancakes, she said with excitement. The man chuckled quietly. That was fast. Emma smiled. Smart choice. Our pancakes are the best thing on the menu. The girl leaned forward. With chocolate. Emma leaned closer and whispered dramatically. With extra chocolate. The girl gasped in delight. Daddy, we have to stay. The father shook his head with a soft smile. All right, pancakes it is. Emma wrote the order on her notepad. And for you, sir? Just coffee. Emma nodded, coming right up. As she walked back toward the kitchen window, she noticed something unusual. The man pulled out his phone and checked it several times. Not casually, nervously. He kept glancing toward the diner door and the street outside. Emma had worked enough late shifts to recognize when someone was uneasy. Something wasn't right, but she didn't ask. People came to diners at night for many reasons: loneliness, hunger, heartbreak, or trouble. Sometimes all of them at once. Emma handed the pancake order to the cook and poured fresh coffee into a mug. When she returned to the booth, the girl was drawing little stars on a napkin with a blue pen. Emma placed the coffee on the table. Here you go. The man nodded gratefully. Thank you. Emma hesitated for a second. You look like you've had a long night. He gave a quiet laugh. You could say that. Before he could say more, the girl spoke proudly. My dad runs a big company. Emma raised an eyebrow playfully. Really? The girl nodded enthusiastically. The biggest. The father sighed. Lily. But Emma only smiled kindly. Well, Lily, even big company bosses need pancakes sometimes. The girl giggled. But just then, Emma noticed something outside the window. 2 men had stopped across the street. They wore dark suits, and they were staring directly at the diner. Emma felt a strange chill run through her chest. The father noticed them too. His expression changed instantly. The warmth disappeared from his face, replaced by tension. He slowly stood up. Excuse me, he said quietly to Emma. He walked toward the counter. Emma followed. His voice was low. Miss, I need your help. Emma crossed her arms. What's wrong? He glanced toward the window again. The 2 men outside. Emma nodded slowly. They've been following me for hours. Emma frowned. Why? He hesitated. My company is currently fighting a hostile takeover. Some people want control, badly enough to intimidate me. Emma looked at the men again. They were still watching. Her stomach tightened. But why follow you here? She asked. The men looked exhausted. Because tonight I refused their offer. Emma crossed her arms. And the little girl, my daughter. Emma looked toward the booth where Lily was happily stacking sugar packets into a tiny tower. Something protective rose inside Emma instantly. Kids shouldn't be anywhere near adult problems like this. The man leaned closer. If they come inside, please tell them I already left. Emma studied him for a moment. Her mother's voice echoed in her mind again. Make kindness a habit. Emma didn't hesitate. Come with me. He blinked in surprise. Where? Emma pointed toward the kitchen. Back door. They walked quickly through the narrow kitchen corridor. The cook looked confused but said nothing. Emma pushed open the metal door at the back. Cold alley air rushed in. This alley connects to the next street, she said. You can grab a taxi there. The man stared at her. You're helping us, just like that. Emma shrugged. You have a daughter with you. She glanced at Lily. That's enough reason. The man knelt beside his child. Lily, we're going on a little adventure. The girl grinned. I love adventures. Before leaving, the man turned back to Emma. For a moment, he looked like he wanted to say more. But instead, he simply said quietly, Thank you. His voice carried deep sincerity. You may not realize it, but you just saved me tonight. Emma smiled gently. Just take care of your daughter. They stepped into the dark alley and disappeared. Emma closed the door and returned to the counter. Exactly 1 minute later, the diner bell rang again. The two suited men walked inside. Their eyes scanned the room sharply. One approached the counter. Excuse me, he said firmly. Emma continued wiping the counter calmly. Yes. Did a man with a little girl come in here? Emma took a slow sip of coffee. Then she shook her head. No. The men searched the diner suspiciously. But the booths were empty. After a tense minute, they left. Emma finally exhaled. She didn't know the man's name. She didn't know his story. But she knew one thing, now 30 years old, she walked quickly through the busy hallway of Manhattan General Hospital, her nurse badge swinging gently against her blue uniform. The past days had been filled with long shifts, sleepless nights, and moments of heartbreak that only hospital workers truly understood. But Emma had never lost the habit her mother taught her. Kindness. Patients often noticed it first. She always held their hands a little longer, spoke a little softer, and treated every person as if their pain truly mattered. Yet life outside the hospital was far from easy. The rent for her small apartment had doubled over the years. Her younger brother Noah had finally graduated from college and moved to Chicago to start his own life. Emma was proud of him, but the apartment now felt quieter than ever. And recently, the hospital administration had announced terrible news. Budget cuts. Entire departments were being closed. Nurses were being laid off. Emma tried not to panic, but the uncertainty weighed on her heavily. One rainy evening after a 12-hour shift, Emma stepped out of the hospital doors. The sky was dark and heavy, and cold raindrops fell steadily onto the glowing city streets. She pulled her coat tighter and began walking toward the subway station. Her mind was full of worries. What if I lose my job? How will I pay rent? What happens next? Suddenly, a sleek black car slowed beside the sidewalk. Emma barely noticed it at first. Luxury cars passed through Manhattan every day. But this one stopped. The tinted window slowly rolled down. A calm male voice spoke her name. Emma Carter. Emma froze. Her heart skipped. She turned slowly toward the car. Inside sat a tall man in an elegant suit. His dark hair was slightly touched with grey now, but his face looked familiar. Very familiar. Emma squinted through the rain. Then recognition struck her like lightning. The diner. The man smiled warmly. Yes. Emma stepped closer, stunned. You remember me. The car door opened and the man stepped out. Even in the rain, he carried the quiet confidence of someone used to leading rooms full of powerful people. But his eyes still carried the same gratitude she remembered from 7 years ago. My name is Daniel Hayes, he said. Emma's eyes widened. The name was impossible not to recognize. Daniel Hayes was one of the most successful technology CEOs in the country. His company, Hayes Technologies, had grown into a billion-dollar empire known for innovation and global influence. Emma stared in disbelief. You're that Daniel Hayes, he chuckled. I suppose so. Before Emma could say anything else, the other door of the car opened. A teenage girl stepped out. Tall now, confident, with bright eyes that sparkled with excitement. Dad, is that really her? Emma looked at the girl carefully. Then her jaw dropped. Lily. The girl ran forward and hugged her. You're the diner lady. Emma laughed, completely shocked. I can't believe this. Lily pulled back and grinned. I told Dad we'd find you someday. Emma looked between them, trying to understand what was happening. How did you find me? Daniel answered calmly. It took years. He leaned against the car slightly as rain fell around them. That night you helped us, I realized something important. I had built a powerful company, but I had forgotten something simple, how much strangers can change your life. Emma shook her head modestly. I just opened a back door. Daniel looked at her seriously. You did more than that. He paused, his voice softer now. That night was one of the most dangerous nights of my life. If those men had reached me, they would have forced me into signing control of my company. Emma's eyes widened. Daniel continued, because you helped us escape, I had time to fight back. Within months, I secured my company and protected thousands of employees. Lily nodded proudly. And Dad says you're the bravest waitress in New York. Emma laughed nervously. I am in us now. Daniel smiled. I know. Emma blinked. You know. He nodded. I made sure to keep track of you after we finally located your name through the diner owner. Emma was speechless. Daniel's expression became more serious. I also heard about the layoffs at your hospital. Emma sighed quietly. News travels fast. Daniel opened the back door of the car and pulled out a small folder. My company funds several community hospitals across the country, he explained. Last year we completed a new medical center here in Manhattan. Emma listened carefully. It opens next month. He handed her the folder. Emma opened it slowly. Inside was an official document. Hadness Hayes Community Medical Center. Her hands trembled. I don't understand. Daniel looked directly into her eyes. 7 years ago, you helped a frightened father protect his daughter. He glanced at Lily. Then he spoke quietly, his voice filled with gratitude. Ti udnadi spazmina, he said. Tramoa okad zisattaba. Emma felt tears fill her eyes. The rain around them seemed to fade away. For years she had helped strangers without expecting anything in return. And now, somehow, that small act of kindness had come back to her in the most unexpected way. Lily smiled brightly. Dad always says kindness is like planting seeds. Daniel nodded. And sometimes those seeds grow into something much bigger than we ever imagined. Emma looked at the glowing skyline of New York. For the first time in weeks, the heavy weight in her chest lifted. Hope had quietly returned to her life. All because of a habit she never stopped practicing.